Hi, I'm Jeff, and I live in country X. Last week, a distant friend of mine, Ben, died. Ben died in a car accident, so you don't have to worry about it. But we will be talking about how his death could have been prevented, or how he would have lived longer if he would have not born or brought up in country X. So, let's discuss his demise first in detail, and then we will discuss about whose fault it was. Well, anyway, so Ben, being a normal person, was a white collar worker. He was working late in night, so he was returning home late in night. So let's work on the particular story part. So this is a particular road or street on which Ben was returning home. This particular street has a 90-degree turn. Okay. On the side of the street there is particular pond. Yeah, it is filled with muddy pond. There is no need of this particular pond to be here, but it exists because it has not been drained. It is rainwater that has been trapped. It could have been used in better ways or it could have been removed, but yeah, it exists. Okay. Now, another thing that you should know is that there is no street light on this particular street. There is no street light on this particular street. So yeah, now this street is completely and pretty much damp dark. Yeah, so there's no light, there's pond, and at this 90-degree turn, there is no barricading. There is no secure barricading to prevent a fall from this road into this particular pond. Yeah, okay, that's a pretty good thing. I mean to say, it's pretty good Hot Wheels set. Now, Ben, being a simple person, didn't know any of this particular thing was going to happen to him, so he was driving on this particular street in a good and decent speed. He didn't know that the turn was 90-degree, and eventually he had a good fall. Ben was inside this pond. He waited around an hour, yeah, about an hour, sitting on the top of his car. So you can say that after being submerged in the pond, Ben climbed up at his car because he didn't know how to swim. So Ben didn't know how to swim, so he climbed up at the top of his car so that he could seek help, or at least he could prolong his life. So that was the thing. Now, now, if you live in any other country than country X, then you would have called 911, right? You will call 911, it will arrive in 10 minutes. Because in most countries, the police is and 911 vehicles are always patrolling. So in some countries, there are folks like why there's so much police and why there's police everywhere. So in these kind of situations, police is pretty much helpful, and the 911 rescue calls are pretty great in these kind of situations. But for Ben, the help did not arrive for 1.30 hours. Okay, that's a good amount of time. But yeah, so no help for Ben for this particular amount of time, and after that, Ben died. Yeah, he died because he drowned. Okay, now let's talk about why it is a country X system failure. Now, this street or the road that I'm talking about has already seen these type of accidents before. Yeah, there had been similar before. It have been reported to the authorities. It has been already reported to the authorities. Okay, and what? Well, there could have been some good action that could have been taken. I mean to say, if you have to make a road of 90-degree, you could have created a street that had a barricading, or there was no need for this particular amount of water in the surrounding area, right? I mean to say, why there is so much water around the streets. A normal road doesn't need a fucking swamp around it. A normal road doesn't need a fucking swamp around it. But yeah, in country X, each and every road has a fucking swamp around it, or it is inside a fucking swamp. Yeah, that is what the road is all about. Okay, that is good. That is good. Okay, well, then what about the authorities? In country X, they are bureaucrats. Yeah, they are these bureaucrats who are paid around 100,000 dollar a year. Yeah, $100,000 a month. Sorry. a dollar a month. Yeah, this is a pretty big amount. $100,000 a month, free living, and free convenience. Yeah, and these folks are supposed to be the one who govern this particular city as bureaucrats. Yeah, these particular folks are responsible for these roads and constructions and development. Yeah, there are ministers who are responsible for these particular things, but these are the ones who see that these kind of executions are taking place at the extreme root level. Extreme root level. But for some reason, these folks who are paid these hefty sum, whose living are paid by the taxes of the normal person of the country X, didn't bother to check the roads, right? I mean to say, why the roads have barricading, or why could the road should need any kind of swamp around it. I mean to say, it's a fucking swimming pool. You should have a fucking swimming pool around your roads. the, and I'm not just currently talking about this particular situation. As chef, I am sitting around a fucking ginormous swimming pool of gutter water around me. Yeah, I am fucking sitting around a ginormous swimming pool of gutter water around me in country X. Well, anyway, moving forward. So the bureaucrat did not did his work. Okay, no problem. One person did not do his work. The engineer, yeah, now, these engineers are also paid the same amount of money these bureaucrats are paid, just a little less. You can say a $90,000 a month, but yeah, a $90,000 a month are paid to these engineers. Okay, so why did the engineer who knew this road is surrounded by a swamp did not build a strong barricading or did not provide any street light? Yeah, okay, no problem, no problem. And why this fucking 90-degree turn? Why a fucking 90-degree turn? Well, anyway, it is a 90-degree turn. I mean to say, why there's no human life that matters anyway. So, yeah. Engineer was also not at fault. I mean to say, he just made a 90-degree turn. There's no proper street lighting, and there was this fucking swamp around the road, and he did not mention it. Okay, no problem, right? Okay, now let's talk about the minister who is elected by these folks to maintain this city and make sure that everybody has a good living. Let's say ministers don't work anyway, so just remove him. Any country minister don't work; they are just piece of garbage. Anyway, so these three are the main folks who did not do their work. Well, apart after dying of the death of the Ben, what changed? Did the bureaucrat was removed from his position? No, apparently not. Engineer, not. Minister, not. What is happening? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Surveillance is happening. A report is being prepared of death. Just this much is being done. Well, this was the analysis. I might have sound pretty crappy and shit, and well, that is a fact. I mean to say, a close friend of mine has died. A distant friend of mine has died. So yeah. Now the question is, will you live in country X? If you were Ben, would you like to live in country X where a road has have a 90-degree turn? There is a fucking swamp around the road. There is no street light. There is no responsibility. And one more thing, this is all paid from your tax money or Ben tax money. Yeah, Ben also paid tax. Oh, Ben was the one who provided his money to his killers. Actually, the fault is of Ben. Yeah, Ben is the culprit. Ben is the culprit. If Ben did not have provided this all this tax, he would have not provided money to his killers. And they would then Ben would have eventually lived because there existed no road. Okay, so all these particular folks are innocent. The actual killer is Ben himself only. So, guys, that was my fault. Ben was actually himself was the killer. Well, anyway, uh, I would like to create a new section in this video that I would like to talk about. That if you were born in country X, or if you were given a chance to live in country X, would you like to live in country X? Live in country X? No help. No safety. And what more? Yeah, no street lights. Improper construction. And what more? I don't remember. I think this much is enough. If you live in country X and I'm giving you this much things, would you like to live in country X? Or would you like to leave country X? I mean to say, if you are paying 30% of your salary as tax to country X and then you are getting this, would you like to live in country X? And is there any solution for country X? Yeah, there could have been street lights on this particular road. There could have been no fucking pond here. There could have been no fucking 90-degree turn here. There could have been a warning sign saying in red color telling folks that there is a 90-degree turn, there's a turn, there's a fucking swamp, drive slow. There could have been police cars checking for the speed. There could have been 911. But yeah, there could have been a lot. But Ben is dead, and the question remains: would you like to live in country X? Sorry for the any kind of mispronunciation or any kind of thing. This is just a case study, and I would like you to think of think it as a case study. I'm really sorry for my pronunciation. Thank you for watching the video and do subscribe.